Hey guys, Goon here and welcome to another video. This video today is a video of gameplay for my personal best for bug kills of 1575 kills, and also in this map I had multiplier personal best also of 150 kills in one sitting. So here's the build. Okay, we're using the medium armor with extra padding, any type. I use the White Wolf in particular for damage reduction. The Blitzer for crowd control so that you can stun and stop enemies in their tracks, and also stop the fat bugs from spewing on you indiscriminately. The Grenade Pistol for closing holes, and Thermite Grenades for taking out chargers. The stratagems we're using are Orbital Napalm Barrage for taking care of bug breaches, Gatling Gun Sentry for crowd control and bug breaches as well, the Quasar Cannon for dealing with Pile Titans, and the Guard Dog again for crowd control because of its meteor armor penetration. It can basically take out anything up to and including an Alpha Brood Commander very quickly. So without further ado, let's dive straight into the action. And this one was pretty chaotic, boys and girls, so you're going to enjoy it, I hope. So let me know what you think after the gameplay is over. Okay, so we've landed and we're automatically dropping in our equipment and an SOS beacon. Because it was just a standard afternoon, wasn't trying to solo run anything, just wanted to have a quick round and see how we did. I've landed myself near the sub-objectives so that I can get started on them directly. And now we're moving on. So as soon as someone joined, I wanted to check their levels. That's why I was pausing, so I could see what kind of standard of teammates I was going to expect. We had a level 17 join, so it should be interesting. I've seen a lot of people talking at the moment about levels and do they imply skill over how much you've played. Now obviously my argument would be that the more you've played, the more experience you have and the more skillful you should become. However, there are people who can just pick up a game and automatically be good at it, so a level 17 doesn't put me off. And also, everyone has the right to play, and yeah, just play and see how you do. If you fail the mission, you fail the mission. So what I'm doing in the in-between, I'm working on the generator, and then in between, while it's loading up its next stage, I'm using my Quasar Cannon to shoot the Shrieker Nest in the distance so that I can save as much time as possible. We'll take another shot at the Shrieker Nest. Somehow I seem to be not doing very well. Something must be blocking my shots, either that or I'm just aiming poorly. And while the generator is loading up before I have to pull the transform lever, I'm going to try and take down this Shrieker Nest completely. The Quasar Cannon isn't exactly the best for taking out towers such as Spore Spewers or Shrieker Nests in the grand scheme of things because of the amount of time it takes to recharge or cool down. But at the end of the day, it's powerful enough to take out all the enemies, so that's why I use it, and you don't have to sacrifice having a backpack, because the Guard Dog Rover is essentially, in my opinion, the best stratagem in the entire game. I use it on bots, bugs and Illuminates. Due to its medium armor penetration, it means that you're able to take care of most bugs pretty quickly. So we're done with the first sub-objective and we're moving on now. What I've found in these new maps with the cities on 40 Prime is that inside the city can be rather chaotic, and you get boxed in by the buildings, so you can't just run in any direction in order to escape the bugs. Whereas outside the cities, you're able to just run off in any direction, generally speaking, and able to keep yourself alive from an oncoming horde. Okay, so they've called a bug breach on me there, so it's time to pop out the napalm, put it between you and where they are going to chase you down, rather than directly on the bug breach, so that there's actually more distance they have to travel through the fire, and then pop down the Gatling gun sentry out of range of the napalm, so that anyone who does actually happen to be pushing through will get taken out by the Gatling gun. So we're getting a pretty healthy multiplier here, 85 so far. Shriekers are also taken out by the Gatling gun, which is another good point. When you're using the Blitzer, you don't really have any primary that is particularly good for taking out the Shriekers. The best I've found previously was the Incendiary Breaker, but after the nerf, where they reduced the number of clips that you had, it stopped being as valuable, in my opinion. So there, we just take off the Bile Titan's head with the Quasar Cannon, no problem. Oh, another Bile Titan, and there it goes, headless again. The Quasar Cannon's value being seen right there. The guard dog's protecting me on my left there, which also gives me an indication that enemies are coming from that side, so I can turn and fire, just check it out quickly, make sure that I'm not going to be overrun from the flanks. The Rover guard dog variant can be quite good for that, because you can see the laser quite clearly in which direction it's shooting. However, it's very ineffective against medium level bugs. And the good thing about the Blitzer is that while it stops the enemies in their tracks, my Rover, or rather my guard dog, can finish them off for me. So we've got an Impaler on us now, and if you aim right for the very light spot between their foot on their forehead, it will die in one shot from a Quasar Cannon. I learned this from a viewer on one of my previous videos when I said that Quasar Cannons were not brilliant against the Impalers. They can take them out in one shot, but you have to be quite quick, because by the time the Impaler has its tentacles in the ground, it'll be on you before you have a chance to charge up, so you have to really have got eyes on it before it puts its tentacles in the ground. So we finished the second sub-objective, and we're off and running to the third and final sub-objective. So there's a Shrieker swarm there, so I consider throwing out my Gatling gun, but because one of my teammates is taking care of it, I just save the sentry gun for a later time. Okay, so they've called yet another bug breach. So I'm just waiting to see from which direction it comes, because there it is beyond the fuel depot. And so I've called out, follow me, in order to ensure that people fall back from being killed. Whether they do or don't is another story. So just a quick glance at the map to see if there's any enemies elsewhere, and I saw that there were some in the southwest, so I've run to that direction, and now I'm throwing out my Gatling sentry to provide some cover in that area. Checking the distance on the orbital 380 to make sure that I'm not in range. 50 meters is plenty of distance. You'll be right on the edge with 50 actually, now that I think about it. 55 makes you very safe. And there's an impaler, but he's been taken out by a burst from the 380 orbital, so no need to worry there. Okay, I'm aiming for his forehead, but he is covered up, so there is no point shooting him until he's exposed for the one shot. Bile Titan's head is not visible behind that tower there, so I elect not to waste the quasar shot, and then the teammates take care of him. Okay, Shrieker's causing some havoc, and the level 150 player has decided to leave Icarus for whatever reason. We have lost 9 reinforcements by this point, and there's some stalkers. We are essentially carrying the level 17, so, but as I said before, everyone has the right to play and play on what level they feel. I was confident that we would still complete the mission regardless of having this level 17 on board. And we've finished the final sub-objective. When it comes to bugs, I believe that it's not advisable to avoid engaging when they are clearly visible, because more often than not they will see you and then it will become a horde chasing you. I don't know why I felt the need to climb over the wall and then point out to my teammates when clearly there is an entrance just to the left through the wall. But you live and learn. So we're inside the city now, and this is where things are going to really get a little bit crazy. I'm not shy about stimming, because a couple of hits with one shot being taken from your health in the beginning will result in death, so you're better off just stimming it as often as possible. So another napalm barrage on the breach, and for whatever reason D4 has landed directly on me. So he's apologised, so that's quite alright. However, I think I was a little miffed about that. I thought it was a bit silly. But I'm not so sure it's that easy to see when you're dropping in. Okay, so now I'm having to wait for the napalm barrages to end. And he's back saying sorry, and he's trying to salute me. I'm just going to playfully give him a little love tap, and then say affirmative. Give him a wee stem if necessary. Yeah, another orbital has been thrown down, preventing us moving forward. But the distance is enough that I'm able to sneak in here and grab this guy's samples, because when you've got lower level players playing with you, you should always try and pick up the samples rather than just abandon them because you don't need them personally. So we take out another impaler, and then we throw a thermite on a charger for the first time, and I'm trying to use the scenery to prevent the charger from hitting me there, because I'm kind of trapped by the impaler's tentacles also. Normally I would just run around in a circle around the charger, because its turning circle isn't big enough or small enough to damage you in most cases. But there I had to use the scenery for the charger to run into in order to prevent it from killing me. So I've dropped a sentry gun in order to cover my there. Now we're moving into the nest, which has already been handled quite well. So the guard dog did most of the work on that alpha commander there. And that gives me the opportunity to finish it off with one blitzer shot and then move on to the next. So the final hole's been taken out in this bug nest, and we just keep moving. The danger with the blitzer is that when you've got a teammate nearby that you're probably going to hit them, given the spread on its shots. Charger behind me, very fortunate there that it crashed into the edge of the staircase. Was able to throw a napalm on it, or sorry, a thermite on it, which resulted in it most likely being dead. Sometimes they survive the thermite shots, which can be incredibly frustrating. Grab those samples again. As you can see, my teammates are dying quite freely and openly. So, in fact, at the end of this round, I believe I end on 3 deaths, and one of those deaths was caused by D4 duck eyes landing on my head as he fell in, as he dropped in. So my Gatling sentry is providing cover, but as is always a risk with the sentries that they turn on you, and a Gatling gun will shred you in a second. It's very unlikely that you'll survive a Gatling gun turning on you. So once again using the guard dog there to tell me where the enemies are. So I missed that shot, but I thought it was worth a try. So I'm out of thermite grenades while we wait on the resupply coming in. Okay, so that's the main objective complete, so we can now focus on all the side objectives and bug holes. We're down to 9 reinforcements, which can be a little dicey when it comes to the Mega Nest. But as you can see, we're working from the east to west to north, back to the east. So we've got a little bit of distance to travel and a few more challenges before we'll make the Mega Nest. So throwing a Gatling sentry at the cross section here so that if enemies do appear from the right, that it will attack them. However, I am standing in a bit of a silly position for that purpose, so I'll move a little bit to the left and get behind the... And they've called a bug breach, so in goes the napalm. And hopefully the Gatling sentry is out of range. And now we can take a look to the right so that we have less concern that way. So there must be a stalker layer around somewhere. Another good indicator is if you hear or see buildings exploding around you inside the city, you can safely assume that there is either a charger or more likely a Bile Titan. Another 100 plus multiplier there. So now I'll vacate the city. So Duck Eyes there didn't get reinforced quick enough for his liking, so he quit. Okay, so the stalkers are also out here, which suggests to me that the stalker lair is probably outside the city on this occasion. If you move from side to side with the Shriekers, it's more likely that you'll survive their onslaught, rather than trying to go directly at them. Alternatively, you can dive to the ground, and they should miss you. So a quick grenade pistol shot to both holes on the stalker lair, and that's that taken care of. Grabbing the samples for the lower level people. And also I think during this mission it was actually part of the mission to grab samples in order to complete the major order. So there's an impaler on my right, but he doesn't seem interested in me, so I'm just going to ignore him on this occasion. So we had someone join, probably because the reinforcements level was low. He probably left on that basis. I'll never understand the people who cherry pick in this game when it comes to the missions that they choose to do. Just play. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. It's not the end of the world. So I'm setting up my Gatling sentry for the flag, but it's glitched because there's no code. Arrowhead, you really need to get that fixed. I think I've managed to successfully do 2 flag side objectives since you introduced them in about 50 missions, and I promise that it's happening also on the data collection, subterranean data collection. So I've informed the team that it's glitched and we're moving on. Okay, so we've got another Shrieker nest. So both myself and one of the teammates seem to be focused on taking out towers. Something to note as well, if you're within a certain range, the grenade pistol, one grenade pistol shot and a quasar shot will take out a spore spewer and a Shrieker nest tower. So you don't actually need to sit and wait for your quasar cannon to reload if you are within range of your grenade pistol. You can just shoot another one, so it can be done very quickly in that regard. Especially spore spewers, because there's only one tower as opposed to 2 or 3. And there just happened the most annoying thing ever when they pop out of the hole just as you're about to take a shot, and a second death is a teammate shooting me. Now, in fairness, I could have probably moved off in a different direction, but I didn't really know that they were there. So again, second death, not really my fault in the grand scheme of things. So, calling in a Gatling gun sentry to take care of bugs coming out of the breach, and throwing a napalm on the breach itself. I haven't been able to locate my stuff yet, my support weapon and my guard dog. My Gatling gun sentry is at risk of being killed here by the charger. And there's another one, so it's definitely been destroyed. But the good thing about it is that they seem to focus on the Gatling gun sentry rather than me. So now we have 3 chargers running around and a lot of small bugs. Somehow I've managed to survive a head-on collision with a charger. Someone saved my life there using whatever to destroy that charger. So things seem to be a little bit more under control again. The chargers seem to be all dead. Grab some resupply. Now that Bile Titan's going to be a problem because I don't have my Quasar cannon. And due to the amount of bugs chasing me and putting pressure on me, I am unable to locate where they are. So I've managed to locate my stuff on the edge of the bug hole. I probably could just call in new, but then I would have to stand in the location and wait, and the likelihood of actually being allowed to wait long enough to retrieve it would be small. So we finished off the nest, grab the samples, and off we go. Yeah. Get that Titan in position for a headshot, and down he goes. So the good thing about this build, as you can see from the run so far, is that there isn't a single enemy that is unmanageable, that you just can't defeat. You can take care of anything in pretty much one shot. Okay, so we're down to 1 reinforced now. So gonna grab those samples in line with the mission. And as I say, just good for newer players. So the Titan hole has been taken care of. I don't know quite by what there, but it seems to be down, which makes this bug nest significantly easier. You can also take out Bile Titan holes in some cases if there is a Bile Titan standing next to it, because as they fall, the damage that they do when they fall causes the hole to explode. So I like to throw Gatling gun sentries on the edge of bug holes, so that, or bug nests, so that they can take out anything that is either appearing from the holes or is already existing in the hole. This way I can focus more on destroying the holes directly. I've got 1 grenade pistol ammo left, so I used my Quasar, and now I'm switching. I've got grenades that will take out the holes as well, so again, as much as it may be a little bit slower when you run out of grenade pistol ammo, you are still capable of taking out the nests with this build. So on that occasion I've taken 2 supplies, and the reason that I take 2 supplies is rather than taking just one is A, I'm alone, and B, the teammates are dying so often that it seems highly unlikely that they actually are going to need them. Sorry if that was condescending, but it's just a statement of fact. Okay, so they've managed to call another bug breach on me, so it's time for the napalm again. My guard dog is taking care of business there for me a little, allowing me to get distance. So my napalm is pushing me up to a 92 kill streak. Using the radar frequently and often to check where the enemies are. Make sure that you're not being swarmed and that they're not close enough. Now I've realised that I do have enemies nearby. So, time to take out the Titan again. Another headshot. And now we're approaching the Mega Nest. So, I've chosen to throw down my Gatling gun sentry on one of the bug holes in the Mega Nest so that it will take out the hole upon impact and then start shooting and providing me with an entryway into the hole. That's the idea. Obviously the Gatling gun won't take out impalers or Bile Titans or chargers, but it can take out the hordes, and now it looks like things are getting a bit dicey. Just have to keep diving as best you can. Stim, dive, shoot. I've got 2 Titans chasing me, so that's not ideal. We've lost another teammate in position 4. They will be reported to the democracy officer when we get back to the ship. That was a poor shot. I've missed the head, which means now I have a problem because I've not got anything to take it with, so I have to keep running. You got to keep looking forward and backwards so that you actually are able to see what kind of trouble you're getting yourself into. Okay, so that one had exposed armor, so its armor had been destroyed, so I was able to focus pretty much on it or the head, the exposed area or its head. So I managed to I found myself at the stalker lair that E2 discovered and did nothing about. Being swarmed, but focus on the objective, get it done. If you die, then you can be called back. So I've got a problem here because I don't have a Gatling sentry and I don't have appropriate weaponry to take care of the Shriekers, and the Bile Titan is pushing down on me, so that makes it difficult. But there we finally get a good shot, so that's good. This, as you can see here, this is why maneuverability in the city is harder, because now I've just been able to run in any direction available to me and I've had no problem evading the enemies. I've thrown out my Gatling sentry now to provide me cover while I wait for a resupply. So I've been pushed halfway across the map away from the mega nest, so have to head back now. But in being pushed away, I've managed to take out the stalker layer and take down a couple of titans that were causing me some hassle. If you have the opportunity to regen your stamina rather than using a stim, just slow it down to walking pace and let it come back. I know that that's pretty obvious, but some people are very stim happy and just continue using stims, and then when they find themselves in a situation where they actually need them, then they struggle. I can see from here that my guard dog is lacking ammo, and I should probably reload it manually by pressing down on the D-pad, but for whatever reason I've decided not to. I've thrown in a quasar cannon hell pod on the Bile Titan hole there so that it can take care of that for me. I somehow have survived a charger running right over the top of me. Okay, so I didn't have a headshot there, so I decided to take care of his side and try and remove some armor so that future attacks will have more opportunity to kill it. Also, if a Bile Titan seems focused on one of your teammates and you are at a greater distance away, it is a good idea to engage it in order to prevent it from chasing down your teammate further and having it change direction. So there I had no choice but to dive rather than move left or right, because I had the environment on my left, and to the right there was too many shriekers in order to avoid it quickly enough. So dive to the ground, throw out my Gatling gun sentry and let it take care of the shriekers. So I'm throwing a thermite on that spore charger so that I can then take care of the smaller bugs. Unfortunately it missed, so we've tried again. This time fortunately the charger is staying put and it's just accepting its death. So quick turn around, see if anything's on my 6 o'clock. That's a second spore charger. So a lot of enemies pushing me here, not allowing me to get into the mega nest. Got to reload my grenade pistol. Probably should have done that when I had an opportunity prior, but we've now managed to get into the hole. So these are the last two holes, so in theory I should be able to get them both, and we're done with the mega nest. Another tip is use the environment to your advantage, like I just did there. If you're being chased, sure they'll maybe be able to jump over it or climb over it, but it does slow them down for a second or two, giving you an opportunity to create some distance, which then allows you to open fire on them with a bit more safety. So I'm the last one alive and we're heading for extract. It was quite a nice shot, I felt. So put the Gatling gun on an elevated position so that if it does happen to turn round and fire at me, I have actually a small chance of survival. So the charger took out the Gatling gun sentry very quickly as predicted. So we've called extract. Now it's just a matter of trying to stay alive. Oh, we've thrown out an orbital napalm barrage because there seems to be a direction from which the enemies are coming, so try create a little bit of hardship for them crossing the field. B4 is about to get swarmed by Shriekers. Ah, forgive me, I've just noticed now that it wasn't the timer on the screen was not the extract timer, but rather the timer left in the mission. Now we have to try and survive for the 3 minutes without any stratagems. So he's got his face in the ground, but I can't see the weak spot, so unfortunately I've had to just take a shot at his side, which I believe has killed it anyway. But there is, of course, another impaler, because there's always another impaler. No matter how many impalers you take down, there's always another. Okay, so that's a big problem. We've got a bug breach now with no stratagems available to help take it down. I'm down to 2 clips on my guard dog. And 1 minute and 12 seconds to go. Unfortunately I missed. I was hoping that the Bile Titan would put itself into its spewing position, and that's where the shot was aimed. Unfortunately it was fired too soon and I missed the target. So now we've got 2 Bile Titans crawling around on the extract area, and the bug breach is still going strong. And that's me down to being the last living man. Can I make a heroic escape? Charger coming at me. You got to go round it, but unfortunately you've got 2 Bile Titans causing you havoc. You're now swarmed by the small ones. You got to stem and keep moving. The shuttle is landing. make a break for it. The Shriekers are coming in too. The Chargers knocked me down. Stem and go, stem and go. No, I tried to stem and then I died. Meters from the shuttle. And as you can see on the screen, it says that we didn't complete the Purge hatchery, which is inaccurate because it was a flag that was actually on the map and that was glitched. So once again, Arrowhead, get your shit together and get that sorted because it's unacceptable. So, now let's check out the scoreboards. (1,575 kills, 65.9% accuracy, on 3 deaths, 2 of which were caused by friendly fire, and 1 at the end when all our resources and reinforcements were out, due to the 11 deaths by L3, the 7 deaths by E2, and that was how it went down. So if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more content. Bye guys.